All right, guys, I just assembled this. It took all of about 4 minutes. Everything's quality. I love Ryobi, of course. Everything looks pretty good. I like the little reel here for storage of your high pressure hose. You can't use this intact while you're trying to pressure wash, because when you roll this around, it'll pull on both sides of the hose. But it's a great place for storage, because a lot of times your high pressure hose gets stuck or just is sitting out somewhere flopping around when you're trying to store this thing, and that's usually what gets nicked or broken, or it just has nowhere to really go. So I like that they built a little place for it. The soap dispenser's nice. I don't tend to, I don't usually use it. When I'm doing pressure washing, I usually use one of their sprayers, so I can spray everything out with a chemical and then let it sit for a few minutes and then go back and pressure wash. But I like that it's got it there. It looks like it'll be useful for some people, depending on what you're doing, if you're doing like cars or something like that. It's got a nice little spot for your little nozzle heads, so you can change them out pretty easily. And it's got, a nice little thing, place to put all your cord. So, it's a nice unit. It comes with a little, GFI type plug, so you don't electrocute yourself. So make sure you keep that out of the water at all times, of course. Always keep your power cords away from moisture and water. But it looks pretty good, so let's get started. Gonna turn it on and see what we get. So you can see that kind of where I started. I'm working my way through. So let's see what we got here. It's not too loud, and it actually works really nice. Here we go. So, I've got a pretty decent sized deck here I've got to finish. I just did this entire wall with the pressure washer. I've got to go do these steps, the rest of this deck, the upper deck, around the pool, and the rest of the entire house. So, it's going to be here, I'm going to be here for a while. It's going to take a bit, but it's doing a great job so far, and I can't complain. All right, so I pressure washed this entire deck and these 3 tables and the railings as much as I could without destroying the paint. Like any pressure washer, you got to watch that you don't take the paint away when you start pressure washing. But so far it's been a good morning. This thing's kicking ass, actually. I'm pretty impressed by it. It has not quit on me. No problems with it so far, and I've been using it pretty much non-stop for at least a couple hours. So did a good job. It's fall, so we're getting leaves dropping every 2 seconds here, but I still have a lot more to do. All right, guys, the review is in. I love it. You may say, well, it's electric. It's kind of a pain to have that wire come around. I agree. Having an extra hose, we got this hose, we've got the water hose, and we've got an electric cord to kind of contain while you're trying to use this around your house or wherever. I understand that's kind of a pain, but I will say it's a lot easier than going to get gas, filling the tank, making sure you get the thing running, pulling your shoulder out, trying to get that thing started every year. It overheats. You know, gasoline engines don't like to be running all day, basically. I mean, some of them will, the bigger ones will, of course. But, you know, for the money and for the convenience of this thing, it's so much nicer. I don't have to worry about emptying the tank when I'm done with it for this season or whatever. I just throw it in the garage, it's done. The hose is great. You know, the nozzle feels very natural in your hand. You can deal with it one-handed all day long, which I have. You know, like anything, this hose drives you a little crazy along with the other hose because you're always trying to pull on it, of course, but that's the nature of pressure washing, right? But the machine worked great. I literally did my entire house, 2 decks, my front porch, all the railings, 3 picnic tables, all the benches, the garage doors, basically everything that you saw in the video in roughly one long day. Granted, I ended early at one point and I picked up in the next morning. But I ran this thing all day in between, you know, I would only stop it for a bit when I would get my Ryobi power sprayer, spray the area down, which would take me maybe 10 minutes to do like one full side of the house as well as the front, say, right? Let that sit for a few minutes. By the time I was done with that, I'd come over, turn this back on, boom, run it for hours at a time, completely fine, didn't overheat, did everything I needed to do, cleaned everything pretty well. You know, so along with a chemical rinse at first, you know, which I used the Home Depot, I think it's called 30-second cleaner. It's basically like a heavy bleach mix with water. And that kind of pre-soaked everything and started the cleaning process and followed it up with this, and it was awesome. I mean, it worked great. Again, I love Ryobi, you guys know that, but honestly, it's a great tool. I'm literally going to take my gasoline version that doesn't start anymore after one season, and I know I can fix it, but I'm just gonna put it out by the dumpster. Somebody will take it. I don't want it. I'm done with the gasoline stuff. It just kills me every year having to deal with that. I mean, a chainsaw is bad enough, you know. That's one thing that you really, you know, I don't know if I've moved over to the battery operated chainsaw thing yet, but I can handle a couple gasoline things, my generator, things like that if I need it. But as far as something like this, if there's an electric version, you know, honestly, if there's the 18-volt version, I'd probably use that, but I know that wouldn't do my entire house, obviously. But this thing rocks. I'm going to do a review of the power sprayer, the Backpack Ryobi 18-volt power sprayer. I didn't even use the whole battery the entire day and a half of me working with it. So, I mean, that thing rocks. That thing's awesome. So I'm going to do a quick review on that as well. But I love this. You know, look it up. You saw how it worked in the video. If you like it, go get one. I'm telling you, it is a lifesaver when it comes to, you know, something you want to pressure wash. It's very convenient. It folds up nice. Granted, I could put this on the reel. I didn't. I'm lazy. But it's a great little unit. It puts together in a few minutes. You need one screwdriver, maybe. I would definitely recommend it. So 2 thumbs up. Subscribe or click thumbs up or whatever that is. I don't know. Do it. Whatever it is, do it. Get more people watching. Thanks.